Parasite is a South Korean dark comedy thriller film. The movie revolves around two families from different social classes and explores themes of social inequality and the human struggle for survival. The Kim family consists of the unemployed and impoverished father Ki-taek, his wife Chung-suk, and their two children, Ki-woo and Ki-jung. The Park family consists of the wealthy businessman Park Dong-ik, his housewife Choi Yeon-gyo, and their two children Park Da-hye and Park Da-sung. Through a stroke of luck, Ki-woo lands a job as a tutor for the wealthy Park family's daughter, Da-hye, when his friend Min-hyuk leaves Korea to study abroad. Min-hyuk also gifts the family a rock, which is supposed to be a gift of wealth, which becomes an important part of the movie. Recognizing an opportunity to improve their lives, the Kims start infiltrating the Park family's household, one by one, posing as skilled workers and manipulating their way into becoming their trusted staff. Ki-jung poses as a well-known art therapist and starts working with Park Da-sung. Shortly after, Ki-jung formulates a sneaky plan to get the Park's driver fired so that Ki-taek can take over his place. For the housekeeper, the family had to convince Mrs. Park that the current housekeeper has tuberculosis and is a medical hazard to the family by exploiting her allergy to peaches. Once the old housekeeper was fired, Chung-suk swooped in and took the housekeeping job. At that point, all the Kims had successfully infiltrated the Park family and had stable jobs. As the Kims settled into their new jobs, they exploit the obliviousness and gullibility of the Parks. However, their newfound stability is threatened when the former housekeeper of the Park family, Moon Gwang, shows up unexpectedly while the Parks are on a camping trip, and the Kim family was in the house, leeching off of their food and alcohol. Moon Gwang reveals a secret underground bunker within the house. Moon Gwang's husband, Gun-se, had been living there for over 4 years, hiding from loan sharks. This shocking revelation triggers a chain of events that lead to a dark climax at the end of the movie. After discovering Moon Gwang's husband in the bunker, Chung-suk refuses to let them stay there and threatens to call the police. The Kim family accidentally reveals themselves to Moon Gwang, and from there, Moon Gwang takes the offensive position and threatens to send a video of them to the Park family. The Parks called to tell Chung-suk that they are coming back early due to rainstorms, so the Kim family scrambles to clean up their mess and trap Moon Gwang and Gun-se in the bunker. Ki-jung, Ki-taek, and Ki-woo hide under a table and overhear Mr. Park's comments on Ki-taek's odor. The Park parents end up falling asleep, which allows Ki-jung, Ki-taek, and Ki-woo to escape and go back to their home, which was unfortunately flooded due to the rainstorms. The wealth-stone that Min-hyuk gifted the family floats in the floodwater, and Ki-woo takes it with him as his only belonging, while him and the others go to a nearby gymnasium to sleep for the night. The next day, Mrs. Park hosts a party for Da-sung's birthday and calls the whole Kim family to attend the party. Ki-taek takes Mrs. Park to the grocery store to buy things for the party, and in the car, Mrs. Park opens the door due to Ki-taek's odor once again. The party starts, and Ki-woo decides to reconcile with Moon Gwang and Gun-se in the bunker to apologize for the events that had occurred the night before. He discovers that Moon Gwang died due to a concussion, and Gun-se attacks Ki-woo with the wealth rock that he was gifted from Min-hyuk. Gun-se then stabs Ki-jung with a kitchen knife while the cake cutting was about to begin, and then Chung-suk eventually stabs Gun-se with a barbecue skewer. Ki-taek tries to stop the blood loss for Ki-jung, and he watches as Mr. Park plugs his nose to move Gun-se's body to pick up the car keys that Ki-taek threw to him before he went to help his daughter. Seeing that angers Ki-taek, and he grabs a knife and stabs Mr. Park to death before running and hiding away from the scene. Weeks later, Ki-woo is recovering from a brain operation. Him and Chung-suk are convicted of fraud and put on probation. And Ki-jung has died from her injuries, and Ki-taek is still nowhere to be found. Ki-woo decides to go and visit the house where all the events had occurred. He sees that the lights above the stage are flickering and are showing a message in Morse code. Ki-woo then realizes that his father is hiding in the bunker. From there, Ki-woo writes his father a letter vowing that he will make a lot of money so that he can buy the house and free his father from the bunker. The movie ends with the camera panning from the street level to the basement flat that Ki-woo and his mother still live in. Parasite delves into the stark contrast between the rich and the poor, highlighting the struggles faced by those who are marginalized and economically disadvantaged. It presents a commentary on social hierarchies, exploring themes of greed, desperation, and the lengths people are willing to go to improve their circumstances. The film's masterful storytelling, compelling performances, and thought-provoking narrative have earned it critical acclaim and numerous awards, including the Palme d'Or at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival and 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, which was the first time in history that a non-English movie won the award. The director of this film is Bong Joon-ho. His filmography focuses on social themes, genre mixing, and dark humor, with sudden tone shifts. Okja, Snowpiercer, Mother, and even Memory of Murders, which is one of the movies that we watched this semester, are all directed by Bong Joon-ho. The historical significance of Parasite is primarily focused on contemporary issues, or social issues rather than historical backgrounds. However, the film does touch upon certain historical and cultural elements that are prevalent in South Korea. These elements provide a backdrop to the story and contribute to the underlying themes of class division and societal inequality. The first one is economic transformation. South Korea underwent a rapid industrialization and economic growth process in the latter half of the 20th century, commonly known as the Miracle on Han River. This transformation led to a significant increase in the wealth gap and social inequality, which is reflected in the contrasting living conditions and lifestyles of the Park and Kim families. Socioeconomic divide is also a big historically significant part of this movie. The film highlights the sharp divide between the affluent and the impoverished in Korean society. It portrays the struggles faced by those on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder and their desire to improve their circumstances by infiltrating the lives of the wealthy. Housing conditions. The cramped and dingy semi-basement apartment where the Kim family lives is a representation of the substandard housing conditions that were prevalent in South Korea during its rapid urbanization period. These living arrangements were often occupied by lower-income families who struggled to afford better housing. The movie also explores the aspirations of the Kim family to move up the social ladder and attain a higher social status. This desire for upward mobility is influenced by Korean cultural values that emphasize the importance of education, status, and material wealth. While the movie Parasite primarily focuses on contemporary issues and social dynamics, it does draw on historical and cultural elements to enhance its storytelling and depict the socioeconomic realities in South Korea. So what did I learn after watching this movie? What stood out to me the most about this film was the vast amount of symbolism and deeper meanings to certain elements of the movie. For example, at the beginning of the movie, the camera starts at street level and then slowly descends down to the basement level of the Kim's residence to show that they are lower class, hence the lowering of the camera angle. Another metaphorical symbol that really stood out to me in the movie was when Chung-suk and the rest of the family were drinking and eating in the Park's home while they were camping. All the lights were dim while they were doing what they weren't supposed to be doing in the Park's house, and Chung-suk compares them to cockroaches. She explains that cockroaches scurry and hide when the lights are turned on, comparing it to their situation. If their lives were exposed to the Park family, they would have to run and hide in order to escape the consequences, just how Ki-taek had to run and hide in the bunker for the rest of his life. Another key symbol that stood out to me was when Ki-jung, Ki-woo, and Ki-taek were running back to their home after escaping the Park's residence. It was heavily raining, which almost symbolized them washing away their sins. It also showed them going down a bunch of stairs and levels, which again showed their socioeconomic status, which was much lower than that of the Parks, who live at a very high level in comparison to them. Rain is also known to be a symbol of change, or a symbol of a turning point in literature, and the movie from then on changes tremendously in terms of the Kim family's situation. Overall, the movie was extremely interesting to watch because it was interesting to try to see the deeper meanings and symbols that the director Bong Joon-ho included throughout all of the scenes in the movie.